Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Obviously, today we got the massive Season 3 Reloaded update. It changed a ton of stuff in game, tons of weapon tuning, tons of gameplay updates and fixes, and of course, because it's the mid-season update, we also got a brand new weapon in the H4 Blixen SMG, or the Carl Gustaf, something like that in game. It's got a different name in game for some reason, but today we are going over the best way to unlock this gun, the quickest way to level it up, and of course, the best loadout for it as well. Is it meta? Is it not meta? Everything broken down in today's video. As we go through it all, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here, or if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, so feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. So I do want to drop some gameplay in the background here of just what the weapon looks like, feels like in game on some Clash. We're going to talk more about Clash here in just a moment, but as far as unlocking this SMG goes, there is a bundle you can buy. I think it's like 1200 COD points or something. For what it's worth though, if you buy the bundle, you still can't customize the attachments in Warzone. You can change them in Vanguard MP, but not in Warzone. If you want to actually customize the gun and build the best loadout for it, you do have to go through and actually unlock the gun fully. Now, the challenge, very annoying, I'm not gonna lie. For zombies, you have to kill, I think, like 50 of the bosses, I guess. I'm not really too familiar with zombies. It's the Zalabalas or something. I don't know what the word is, but it's not worth in zombies. I've looked at some of the zombies creators for Vanguard, and they're all saying, I'm gonna go do this in multiplayer. It's not worth your time. Now, the multiplayer challenge, you can do it in Vanguard multiplayer or Warzone. I think it's a little bit trickier in Warzone. You got to get 3 slide kills in a single match 15 times in 15 different matches, essentially. In Warzone, if you get those 3 slide kills, you can back out and then jump into a new match. It'll track. In Vanguard multiplayer, you got to play the entire match through after you get those 3 slide kills. Now, slide kills in Warzone are a bit obnoxious just because with Nox, it can mess things up. There's obviously more health. In my opinion, if you own Vanguard multiplayer, the quickest way to unlock this gun is to go into hardcore and just hip fire while sliding, get some easy kills like that. Do that 15 different games. You'll have it done in a decent amount of time. You can also buy the blueprint if you wanted to, use that as the SMG to unlock it, and you can level it up at the same time, which is somewhat convenient. In Warzone though, if you have to do the challenge there, I jump into Clash. That'll probably be your best bet. Still not going to be super quick though, just because it is a very tedious challenge at the end of the day. Now in game, while I still don't have it fully maxed out, I'm not going to lie, this setup here is pretty basic. You do have some options because this is a somewhat unique weapon. As I said though, it's very weird because we have the blueprint for it, the space industry blueprint. This build in and of itself, it's all right, but there are a lot of wrong attachments here. I wouldn't really recommend using several of these. So while the blueprint is decent for, you know, leveling it up while you're trying to get it unlocked, I wouldn't necessarily ever use this as a main build. It's just not worth it. It's kind of slow and just awkward in general. But the gun is called the Carl Gustaf M45, even though it's the H4 Blixen in all the blog posts and everything. So that's a little confusing and a little strange. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but regardless, we can go through and actually build this setup in private match here because it unlocks all the attachments for you. Like I said, through my testing with it, I think I had the pretty solid setup here. It's gonna be somewhat basic. You definitely want to run recoil booster on it, at least in my own opinion, for the muzzle here, just because the fire rate, not really super fast. Like, it is a bit strange for an SMG. It's a little more slow firing, so increasing that fire rate and in turn the TTK, definitely worthwhile there. For the barrel here, I feel like there's really 2 options and one's a lot more obvious. The custom one here, better aim walking move speed, better horizontal control, not really too big of a deal in my opinion. There is some horizontal bounce, but I think there's better options. You don't want to use the burst barrel, that's not worth. The RMK barrel here, better damage range, no headshot damage though, and worse control. The recoil on this thing is a bit awkward even for some close range fights. As you saw in the gameplay, this is actually the barrel that was on the blueprint, and it bounces around kind of awkwardly, but you are getting a better TTK out of this with the increased damage. So if you're going just for close range and you focus on control, every time I go to make a video, there's a playlist update. Why? Anyways, if you want to focus on the control more, you could definitely use other attachments with this barrel, but in my opinion, using the 17-inch F3 is probably the better go-to, and I really do think this is going to be more of a sniper support SMG than a close range one, just because things like the MP40, the Owen gun, the Well gun, probably going to fry up close. This thing, while it is strong, I feel like is more so, like I said, meant for like some mid-range fights. So getting better control out of here and a better velocity with the F3 barrel, I feel like is probably the way to go. For the optic, For iron sights for close range, I mean, you can kind of see them there. They're clean sights for what it's worth, but for some mid-range fights, you might not always want to be running iron sights. I just feel like running a basic slate reflector here is going to be perfect for close range and mid-range. Like, you can't ever go wrong with that red dot sight. For the stock here, remove stock obviously is going to give you that great movement speed, better ADS as well, and a better sprint to fire, so it keeps you competitive up close. It does hurt the control some, but we can gain that back. The alternative here would be the MB stock, which is also giving you better movement speed and a slightly faster ADS. Still hurts your control a little bit, but not as much as with the remove stock. In my opinion, though, for the most versatile setup to do well up close with in sub ranges against things like the MP40 and the Owen gun, you probably want to have remove stock on here, because other attachments here can help out in those mid-range areas where this gun I think is primarily going to be used. Definitely going for hand stop in this case for that better control. That's a no-brainer. The magazines, right away we can count out the Gorenko 36 and the 45 ACP, just because 36 and 32 is not realistically enough to be the best possible solution. This is giving you a slightly larger base magazine, better bullet penetration, better velocity and whatnot. Not really super worth it though with just 32. Gorenko 36 is better control, increased torso damage, still not super great, and it hurts your velocity some for mid-range. I feel like 9mm 72, your basic extended mag, honestly is not a bad choice. This is going to be really, really solid, but the Gorenko 54, it does hurt your velocity a little bit, but you're getting better headshot damage with no reduction to anywhere else. You're also getting a better ADS and better control as well. So to me, I would use both, and personally just see which one you're more comfortable with. Both are great choices. The TTK is not changing between these two, minus if you're hitting headshots. So really, it just comes down to which you think you're going to land more shots with. Use that barrel. So 72 or the Gorenko 54 are both great choices. Definitely going to be going for lengthened for the ammo here. Obviously, sort of the usual choice for especially a sniper support sub, but a lot of the subs in general with how the hit reg works. Going to be running polymer here as well for that better control during sustained fire, just helping out in those, especially in those mid-range fights yet again. Perk 1, we've got some odd options here. I won't lie. Fleet is cool if you don't like to use amped, but I personally hate combat scout, so I refuse to run that. Amp to me is always going to be my go-to perk 3. But if you're not running that, this could work because you do get that better weapon swap quickness and better movement speed, but I'm not super sold on that. Steady is all right for subs. That better ADS firing move speed is nice. That strafe speed's pretty solid, but I think Perfectionist truly is the best choice here, just for better control in general. Flinch resistance doesn't really matter too much on a sub, so you're not really losing out on anything too major with that. So to me, Perfectionist is the go-to. Discard, not worth it. Driller, not worth it. Panic, better control after weapon swap. I mean, if you YY a lot, maybe that works well, but I don't feel like that's super useful. Nerves of Steel could be solid though too with better control while injured, but you're also getting better control constantly with Perfectionist. So to me, that's the best choice. And then perk 2, you got really 3 options. Quick for the better sprint speed, and that'll be my go-to. Fully loaded for better ammo, or more ammo I should say, or on hand for a faster ADS. To me though, I just value that move speed a little bit more, so I'll go ahead and run quick, but those other options do work pretty good as well. And that being said, this in my opinion is the go-to Carl Gustaf class setup, the H4 Blixen best loadout here in Warzone as it stands right now. Do I think this has a place in the meta? I'd say so to a certain extent. For close range, I do feel like there are better options, but for sniper support, pairing this versus something like the Milano, which just got nerfed, maybe the Cooper, it could definitely compete in that area, especially because it does hit pretty hard, and it seems like it's built for mid-range. I think the actual definition, like the rundown of the gun, was good mobility with solid range for, sniper support or something along those lines. So definitely used for situations like that. But that being said, that in my opinion is the best loadout when it comes to leveling this gun up. Without a doubt, the best way right now if you're a Warzone player is to go into Clash and spam those bounty contracts. Try and do as many different bounty contracts as possible. Pick one up. Chances are one of your 20 teammates or whatever is going to end up getting that kill for the bounty. You'll get the bonuses stacking on top of each other. Pop a double weapon XP token if you have that. It'll work really well. So best way to level it up, best way to unlock it, best loadout for it, everything you need to know about the H4 Blixen in this video. That's going to wrap things up. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.